The screen shows the notes on the first 12 frets of a Venezuelan Cuatro, and their location on the staff. This is a very convenient reference. This video provides a method to locate and identify these notes in case you do not have it. The clock analogy will prove extremely helpful in locating these notes in the early stages of familiarization with the instrument. Therefore, on the left side is the clock face used in this analogy, and on the right side are two samples of the Venezuelan Cuatro fretboard. The first shows the hours of the clock and serves as a guide to locate the notes on the second. Note that we have an instrument with traditional reentrant tuning in which the first string is tuned to the low BB3, thus, for a standard 14-fret Venezuelan Cuatro the register extends from the note A3 on the open 4th string to the note G♯5 on the 2nd string at the 14th fret, 24 different notes, almost 2 octaves. Note that in traditional tuning the first string reinforces the low notes, giving the Cuatro a characteristic low sound that stands out in the accompaniment. Also notice that the highest notes are on the 2nd string. On a standard 14-fret Cuatro, the notes F5 to G♯5 can only be fingered on this string. This makes it difficult to play solos on a Cuatro in standard tuning. You can use a G3, C4, E4, A4 tuning, in which the first string contains the highest notes, but you would not have the distinctive characteristic sound of the Cuatro in the accompaniment. In this channel, we will use almost exclusively the traditional tuning. Although there are only 24 notes, there are 60 positions occupied by these notes. Therefore, memorizing the positions of the notes, which is not strictly necessary, may take some time. It is recommended to start with the natural notes framed in the 3 groups shown. The sharp notes are obtained by simply going down 1 fret on the fretboard. In essence, the Cuatro in its traditional tuning is a 3-string instrument. The last 3 strings, the first string allows the fingering of chords with 4 notes. You can therefore start with the 2 groups at the top, which have the notes of the chords fingered in first position. The upper left group contains the notes of the chromatic scale from the note A3 to the note A4, with the notes of the corresponding A major scale colored. Notice that the open notes are repeated 1 octave higher at the 12th fret, therefore, the notes from the 13th fret onwards are the repetition 1 octave higher of the notes from the 1st fret onwards. In addition to the notes already considered, it is proposed to memorize the positions of the note C on the fretboard. This note is a very good reference because it corresponds to 0 hour. Note that the location of this note on the 4th and 3rd strings indicates that the position of a note on the 3rd string is obtained by going down 7 frets with respect to its position on the 4th string. Thus, for example, the note B3 is located on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, above the note C4. Therefore, you must go down 7 frets on the 3rd string to place it on its 9th fret. Now, there is a detail to consider. For the notes located on the 8th fret onwards of the 4th string of a standard 14-fret Cuatro, you must go up 5 frets to place them on the 3rd string. Consider the note F4 located at the 8th fret of the 4th string. You cannot go down 7 frets on the 3rd string because it does not have the 15th fret, so you must go up 5 frets to place this note on the 3rd fret of this string. You can extend these observations to other pairs of strings, in both directions. Next, we will see the use of the clock analogy in the problems of the location and identification of notes on the fretboard of an instrument. To facilitate the explanation, the numbers of the strings have been indicated both on the clock face and on the fretboard corresponding to the hours. Let's start with the problem of the location of a note on the fretboard of an instrument. As we will see in later videos, solving this problem is crucial to determining scale and chord fingerings along the fingerboard. Suppose we want to determine all the locations of the F note on the fretboard of the Cuatro. To do this, we mark this note on the clock face, and then we measure the intervals from the notes corresponding to the open strings to this note. Let's start with the 4th string. The note F corresponds to the hours 5 a.m. and 5 p.m., 17 military time, therefore it is 8 hours away from the hour 9 corresponding to the note A of the open fourth string. We conclude that the note F is located on the 8th fret of the fourth string. Let's continue with the third string. The note F is located at 3 hours from the hour 2 corresponding to the note D of the open third string. It is concluded then that it is located on the 3rd fret of the third string. Let's continue with the second string. The note F is located at 11 hours of hour 6 corresponding to the note F sharp of the open second string. We conclude then that it is located at the 11th fret of the second string. To conclude the search for all the positions occupied by the note F on the fretboard of the Cuatro, let us now consider the first string. On the clock face, the note F is located 6 hours from the 11th hour corresponding to the note B of the open first string. It is concluded then that it is located on the 6th fret of the first string. Let us now consider the problem of identifying the note corresponding to a fret of a given string on the fretboard of an instrument. The solution to this problem in turn allows us to identify the fingerings of scales and chords along the fretboard, and their transcription to the staff. The proposed solution is easier than that of the note location problem. Simply, starting from the position occupied by the note of the open string, we advance on the clock face as many hours as the number of the fret considered. The note to identify will then be the one corresponding to the end of this path on the clock face. For example, suppose we want to identify the note corresponding to the 10th fret of the second string of the Venezuelan Cuatro. To do this, we draw an arc of 10 hours from hour 6 corresponding to the open second string, which concludes in note E5. This is the note sought. In this video, we have given detailed explanations on the clock face for the solution of the problems of location and identification of notes on the Venezuelan Cuatro fretboard, but one of the virtues of the clock analogy is that, once these procedures are understood, and after a short period of practice, these calculations can be carried out mentally. The mental dialogue that could be established for the problem of the location of a note on a string could be the following: I want to locate the note G, corresponding to the 7th hour, on the 3rd string, corresponding to the 2nd hour. 7 minus 2 is 5, therefore this note is located on its 5th fret. The dialogue for the identification of a note on the fretboard could be: this note is on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, which corresponds to the 6th hour. 6 plus 5 is 11, therefore it is the note B. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you find the information provided very useful.